Hi friends, attempt number two. I have some connection issue. So today I'm running the live with Liesel Mendoza, the founder of the Mentoring Club, and we'll talk about how I found that club and what the activities are and how the idea of the mentoring inspired Liesel and that how she realized this idea. So I'm putting the theme. And I put in the theme and I pin it. I'm pinning my comments. And I'm waiting for Liesel to join. Hi Farouk, nice to see you joining. Okay, Liesel will join from California. It's actually from almost Silicon Valley, where she was working for 30 years. I hope my connection will be good. No, I cannot let you in because I'm waiting for another participant. Let's do this next time. I promise. Let's do the live next time. Actually, I'm more active on another account, on the Russian-speaking account with Olga Ismakilova, coach. Yeah, I cannot let you in because I'm waiting for Liesel. We agreed this time. It's 8 a.m. California, 5 p.m. Prague. Okay, waiting for Liesel. So I will start talking about my story. So in January 2021, I realized that I have some capacity for mentoring. And I decided to Google which mentoring organization we have, like around. That time I was already 8 years at the Medium Corporation. And that like mentors only like C-level people, and it's 1 year program. But I wanted to have something not C-level, but ordinary, normal people, where normal people are mentored. And bingo, it's actually what's happened. I found the website of the Mentoring Club, and I studied the website, and I really like the values. And I really liked, and I was reading this attentively, and it was one cube which was stating like, do you want to be a mentor? Something on the values level resonated to me, and I confirmed. That actually I sent a request that I want to be a mentor. And what was actually next? That was, hi Elias.
Hi.
Nice.
Hi, Olga.
Thank you for joining.
Oh,
I
thank
hope my
you.
connection will be okay because I had some problems, but it went down like it was freezing for a few seconds, but then it starts like working. I hope like so. One person or two people already joined and left because of the poor connection, but we will have it recording. The most important, we are doing it today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for actually taking this time to chat with me on Instagram.
Yes, yes. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Actually, I was telling like my story of starting with the Mentoring Club. My story is that like it's mid of January 2021, and I realized that I have capacity because I was in the Medium Corporation already for 7 years. I realized that I have capacity, and I decided to Google which other mentoring organizations are available. And bingo, I found like this like the Mentoring Club like website, would pop up, and I start reading the values. I like it like this, and then I reached the point where it's like, do you want to be a mentor? And I was like pushing the button, going there. I was fulfilling some sort of questionnaire. And for me, it was like really, really surprising. I sent it like, I think it was 14th of January. And I think the same day or the next day, I got a mail and response invitation for the interview. For me, it was like, wow, this is really fast. And I remember our first conversation in January and how you talk about yourself and how it actually was, for me, reconfirmation that it was the right choice, you know, like the values, international experience. I also lived in Asia and worked there, you know, like this global mindset, this cross-cultural communication. For me, it was a lot of like points of resonating, and just like, and then it was like completing some questionnaire or test, and everything was for me like, wow, this is really cool, and I really like websites. That's my story, and this story is already almost 2.5 years.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, and I would like you to tell about yourself. So how you created this idea and like your path, because my audience don't know about you, but it's actually for them it will be, because from time to time I'm publishing stories, I'm telling, but now then they have the opportunity to learn more about you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity. So maybe I will pause from time to time in case you have questions, because my story is actually, I would say, the reason why I'm here today where I am is a combination of two major epiphanies in my life. So the first one had something to do with a visit here in Silicon Valley in 1998. So backtracking a little bit, my background is information systems development. I was a programmer. I became a systems analyst, project manager. And then in 1998, the first time I visited the US was to take a client from Unisys. I was working at Unisys Corporation in the Philippines, and I was taking the client for a site visit in Sacramento. And since that city is close to San Francisco, where I have friends, I visited with my friends. So the first epiphany was when my friend took me to San Francisco. We parked at a rooftop garage, and for some reason, in my gut, I felt that this is my next career challenge. I will work here, right? So to me, that was quite a unique experience, because remember, I was already here for a few days taking the client around Sacramento and driving around. I even went to Lake Tahoe, but then that vision didn't happen until I went to San Francisco. Right. So keeping that in mind, when I got back home, I spoke to the general manager of Unisys, who is Peruvian Canadian. He was just assigned in the Philippines at that time. And so I said, I really like to work in the US. Can I find opportunities within Unisys in the US? So I was like being loyal to the company because I really like the culture. I really like the company, but I was also being truthful to him that, there's something about Silicon Valley that I liked. And so I thought, I could be of value to Unisys in the US. And he was just new then. He started maybe some weeks or months. And he said, well, I'm new here and I could use your help for the program that I was managing at that time, which was imaging and workflow. So I decided to shelve my interest to go to Silicon Valley at that time, because when he asked me of that, and he has become a really great role model for me when it comes to selling. He really cares about the problems of the clients. And so I thought to myself, okay, I will support him. And after 2 years with his leadership and global team effort, we were able to close over $200 million worth of government contracts, systems integration contract, right? And so and I was doing pre-sales work. I was supporting the sales and engineering team. And so after he's become very successful after 2 years, I took that opening to say, hey, can I take a sabbatical? I really would like to go to Silicon Valley, right, to see what are the opportunities there. So he allowed me to do that, and I spent 5.5 months here. But that was 2000, 2001. The dot-com bubble was bursting. So I didn't even know about that when I came here. I just knew that I have an opening to take a long um, break from Unisys because we're done with pre-sales, and the delivery folks, the services folks will have to deliver the contracts, right? And so I was here for 5.5 months, and I was networking, met over 150 people, and I didn't get a job. I was close to getting an offer from Visa International, and then 3 weeks later, they said, "Well, we're freeze hiring." So I went back home, no job, but one realization that for me to be able to get into the US, I need to understand the internet more. And Unisys was not the right place for that. So I again consulted and spoke to the general manager and said, "This is what I'm thinking." And so with his blessings, I explored opportunities with other companies. I interviewed with Oracle, with Microsoft, and Sun Microsystems, and eventually got a job at Sun Microsystems as a pre-sales IT architect. And that allowed me to add value on the pre-sales side because of my consulting background. So I could help the salespeople present solutions, architect solutions to clients, allowed me to add value in that respect. And the IT architect part allowed me to go deeper into the technical aspects. Sun had an e-commerce internet platform at that time. It was called iPlanet. So I was only there for about 10 months when the owners of J-Way, the consulting company in San Jose, actually hired me and said, "We're ready for you." So I moved to the Bay Area at that point, 2002, right? So they were, the three owners were three of those over 150 people I met during the 5.5 months networking sessions that I had. And I met with them individually, and I was wondering, oh, why did they hire me? I have zero client base in the Valley, right? And so over time, we talked, we got to know each other, and they eventually shared with me that when I was meeting with each one of them separately, separate instances, they said they saw the goal orientedness, the drive, the determination, the organization. I was even showing them my worksheet of people that I've met, and then what are my next steps for each of those people, and then the connections that I've made through those informational sessions. And so they were betting on that, on what they saw. Yeah, pretty much the grit, knowing what you want and going for it with with intentionality. And so I was business development manager, but at the same time, because of my experience in consulting, I helped them with operations and project management. And then after 8 years of being with them, they recognized me for my contribution. They made me part owner and COO of the company. So that was 2010. And then 3 years, 3.5 years later, that was when the second epiphany happened, which was a vision that I wanted to do something give back before I turned 50, which was 2016. So I wanted to understand what that give back is. So again, being the open person that I am in terms of relationships, I spoke to the partners and I said, "Oh, I'm thinking about this." So and so they were supportive, so I gave myself two and a half years to do some reflection, self introspection about what do I do as my give back. I feel like I've been blessed, and um, I want to be able to give back to those people who need help, right? And so so when I was actually um, thinking about what that give back was, I opened myself to triggers in the environment. So I saw a show at CNN interview the three generations of Buffetts, and I was thinking, oh, Howard Buffett, maybe I could help fight world hunger. And then I was also looking at Salesforce because I really admire Mark Benioff's principle around, yeah, the culture within the company, the giving back culture integrated into the company. And then I was also looking at Peter Diamandis's Singularity University. And this one, like, so a friend introduced me to a young lady, entrepreneur, very entrepreneurial, and she said, "Hey, have you heard about Peter Diamandis? I really like his book, Abundance. The future is better than you think." So I looked him up. I listened to the book, and I thought, he has Singularity University right here in Mountain View, where I live. And I looked at it, but with those three options, I was wondering why I was not chasing any positions in those companies, right? So I researched them, and I think for Singularity University, I found one position, and it was very convenient because it was here right in my neighborhood. But then I wasn't chasing them. So I thought to myself, there must be something else. And then I realized from my self reflection that I really have a passion for developing people ever since I became a manager at 24 years old. And I just carried that on subconsciously, taking care of my team, whatever I was doing. I was trying to make sure that they gain technical expertise, but at the same time, they also establish their values, like commitment. When you say you're going to when you say you're going to do something, do it with quality and on time. And if you can't do it, make sure you renegotiate, let the other person know. And so those little things, and I didn't realize, I was just subconsciously doing that until that moment of that I gave myself some reflection time. So that was the first ingredient that created the mentoring club, passion for developing people. And then the second one was when I was networking around during that time, 2014, 2015. I encountered questions in events from younger professionals. They ask, how do I find a mentor? Is my manager my mentor? How do I ask somebody to become my mentor? The awkwardness, right, for asking, reaching out and asking for help. And I thought to myself, right, well, I didn't have those questions when I was navigating my career. I knew what I wanted. I went for it. Of course, I got help, a lot of help along the way. But if people needs this, maybe I could do a platform-based approach to mentoring. And because of my systems development background, that was the idea that came to mind right away after realizing that this may be the sweet spot that I was looking for, right? Because I care about developing people, I care about helping them towards their leadership development journey, and then there is a need, right? So there is a need that I heard from those sessions. And so those two were the ingredients. So two epiphanies and then two ingredients that created the mentoring club: passion for developing people and the empathy that I felt for being have the capacity to help people who are navigating their careers and lives.
Thank you, Liesel. Actually, that's exactly observing, like, for the 2.5 years, how you communicate with people, and that conscious networking skill, how you connect the people, and how to you interview the mentors and mentee. It's amazing. And then that exactly motivates me to give more back. I'm
Thank you.
mentoring.
And you inspire me to, like, mentors and mentees continue to provide the inspiration fuel to me. Um,
Yeah, and I am. like this career path, like with the moving from one country to another, it's also like very close to me. I lived in 6 countries. I also was blessed with the mentors at the start of my career, and that actually helped me like to realize that I want to pay tribute by helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it became some sort of like foundation for me why I'm doing that. Like I want to see that the quality of life of people getting better, that they find in themselves. Sometimes they don't see their talents, sometimes they don't know which skill to navigate for the next level of upskilling.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know like this, like for example young graduates are just like how to make it more efficiently. And it's just like, okay. And then as a career coach or career consultant, I'm just like, oh, career catalyst now, right? Career catalyst with real life.
Yeah, yeah.
And just like, I'm on the side, I'm always telling that because you told me like this about the internet, that the company is not working with internet and you realize that it's behind and you want to change. Actually, it's this idea. I'm in finance, I'm from finance field. And I was studying like what the requirements of the market, where I meet the requirements of the market and where is my gap and how I can close this. I was developing my own like approach. And then it's just like, I'm telling to my people or people with whom I'm like communicate, like you don't need to build career. Like if you will be having transferable skills or you will have demanded skills and you will track what is going on the market, you will get that skill and you will learn that like as a knowledge. Then in practice you don't need to search for job, the job will search for you. But along
Mm-hmm.
that you're creating the context. It's all about networking. Even if you're going for interviews, even if you're meeting, it's all about connection. People will remember, yeah, they will remember your details, but they will remember what the feeling they have like when communicating with someone. And this is empathy, this is emotional intelligence, and this is actually creating the lifelong relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Yeah,
is
I
like,
agree.
that's like, and then when you describe all this like free founders, right, free owners, like how you talk to them, like, and then like all this, they all felt that they saw like the talent from different sides, but in realize that yes, it doesn't matter like from which country you are, we are global, but it's more about the personality. It's like about the values of the person, how the person grown up, and which values or which morale the person lives.
Mm. I think to add to that, Olga, um, it's um, it's confidence in yourself. So you mentioned something about after signing up as a mentor, you took an assessment, right? So the assessment is called Scales for Career and Life Effectiveness, and it measures 11 core skills that are necessary for us to live a healthy and creative life, right? Not just career. And number one in that scale chart, if you remember, it's self esteem, right? So if you believe, so your self image, if you believe in yourself, your capacity, you're aware of what you can do and cannot do and would like to strive to learn how to do what you cannot do, and you would only do that if you know that that's really something that would add value to your image of yourself. Then that's the start, knowing ourselves, having that self-awareness of what we want, what we can do, what we can do to help others, what makes us happy. And then, because at the end of the day, when we're happy, we feel successful. Happiness and success are very subjective, right?
Yeah,
So,
they are close, they are in parallel. Yeah, it's
yes.
because we cannot create or grow life like wheel of life, like the spheres of life. We do not grow something on the ruins of others at the expense of others. When there is a balanced life and all spheres of life are developing in parallel, maybe some of them are more advanced, but it's going like all together, that the person that like actually contributes to overall happiness of the person. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when the person is in a situation, doesn't see it, like it's the trouble and the issue and the challenge. And when the mentor with already with the life experience come, listen, like he is like, you can be grateful for that. You have like, this part is good, this part is good, this part, and it actually elevates the person a little bit upper the fields, like
Mm-hmm.
to see, like, listen, like it's manageable within 2-3 months, like it can be sorted out. It's like it's not so dangerous. Like, I will help you, like I will guide you how, like, and walk elbow to elbow or hand in hand, like it's just like going, and then having that experienced person next to yourself and whom you can ask and whom you can trust. It's amazing that we have in
Mm-hmm.
current world. Like it's the, like, asking, because I had few mentors in my life at the start of my career. When I was at Mentium, I also was mentee, and I always telling to the younger generation, like when they join the company, and I was like, okay, ask about the mentorship program in the company. Can they give a mentor to you from other function, like, but more experience, because that mentor in the company can become your sponsor
Mm-hmm.
in career
Yes.
growth. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of the
Mm-hmm.
networking, it's one of the tricks. The same, my boss, who was from Singapore, she was telling that, okay, for growing that, you need a sponsor. I'm sponsor for that time, but you think about longer period of time. So that is actually one of the secrets of growing, like, career, having that sponsor. Yeah, it's like it's really good. Like, so I'm really happy that we're on the same side. Like, really.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And then just to add to when you talked about navigating careers and about people knowing the right people and the right people knowing you, right? So I think as long as you are authentic to yourself, it shows to your relationship with others, and then um, having some core values that when people see you and you interact with them, they would feel that so part of career development is also branding yourself, right? And it's not branding to flaunt anything, right? So it's really branding so that they know who you are and what you're capable of doing based on what they have observed. And then another a key thing when you're navigating your careers is that you care. You care about the results that your work is actually making happen. And for us to be in that place, we first need to be the leaders of ourselves, of our lives, right? So leadership is not just leadership like, um, I don't know, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. It's not that kind of leadership that we're talking about, although they are leaders in their own rights, respectfully. We're talking about leading a life where we feel that we are accomplishing something meaningful, right? And for us to be able to do that, uh, there needs to be some level of understanding what we care about. And the mentors that we have in the community, and you are a coach, Olga, so there must be a really, really compelling reason why you are a coach, because a mentor uses coaching as part of their tools of techniques, resources to be able to help the mentee understand themselves better. Because let's face it, not all of us know what we want. And if a mentor is trying to help you navigate your career, then the first question that they would have is, what do you find as meaningful work? What is your goal for your career, for yourself? And then if you don't know what you want, that's where the coaching techniques come in, so that the mentor can help the mentee extract from themselves. They realize it themselves that, these are the things that I care about because of the questions that the mentors are asking the mentee. mentees. So that's a very useful interaction. And one of the other things that I really like about the mentoring relationships is that you both care, the mentor and the mentee both care about the same goals. And the goals are the goals of the mentee. It's not the goal of the mentors. The mentors are there to guide, to help get to that, where you're looking at just one track of this. Eventually, this relationship, this mentoring relationship is going to be successful if we're able to achieve that goal. And timeline will be different for everybody because there are long-term goals, there are short-term goals. But what I really like about that partnership between the mentor and the mentee is they're going after a singular goal, the goal of the mentee.
Yeah, and then also it's mentee driven. Mentee is asking when like our next session. It's more proactive approach because mentee wants to get a result and mentor here to help him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Yes,
also like good combination because like when we are negotiating that and like like in other mentoring organizations it's like 1 year program, but I had 14 sessions there, and because it's C-level person, director of strategy. And what's happened, like I applied the business coach and I applied coach and I applied like also psychological. So it's like I was seeing what can help, can unfold the person, because it was like something about confidence and like leadership, etc. And guess what? The person got 2 promotions during 1 year.
wow.
Even Mentium didn't have that experience before. That person like 2 promotions. Like I was amazed myself. Like it's just like, wow, that's cool result. Like person was moving from Arizona to New Jersey, and then also studying in the parallel in Kellogg Business School, and then entering like this, like it's like all this actually helped to elevate. So that's and what I actually observed in my life. If I'm always working with some coaches also needs coach, mentors need mentors. So
Mm-hmm.
what is actually helping then with the coach, with the mentor, the working on your own, like attending the courses, it's also helpful, like, but studying your own, but it will be slower. With the program, with the with the supervision, with this help, with this mentorship, like what's actually helping, like it's like taking taxi or taking the private jet, like it's getting the result
Mm-hmm.
faster. And
Yes.
why I'm telling this, like one of my coaches explained this to me: you want to get a result faster, like go for that. And then you will see the difference when if you are doing this on your own, or you are doing this with the support and the supervision, or like this, like with this guidance. It's much faster result. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm getting closer to what the
Mm-hmm.
programs the mentoring club have to offer
Oh, yes.
to the audience to walk like to their goals faster. And why I'm pointing this now, because
Uh-huh.
it's summer period, right? It's summer period. It's usually the trends in changing the jobs, for example September or New Year, or then spring, after people getting the bonuses. So now it's better to start preparing for September. Like, it won't like, so if you want to have like definitely good start of the next year, it's better
Mm-hmm.
to be prepared for that, to be elevated on another level, to get a better result. And also important, like not escape from something. That like the main mistake what the people do when they change in job, like that I just don't want that, I want to escape from, like I just
Oh.
I'm pointing the attention. I go, and what do you want, and how do you want, and what are your boundaries, and how do you want, which industry you want to work, like where. And they start seeing a little bit different. And that's why 96% of people I worked with, like we defined this criteria, and they were getting that and even better. And then also in
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, I had the clients there as well. So that's why I'm just
Nice.
telling, why I'm telling like which programs the mentoring club is offering this year.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Yes, thank you. So, so, so we talked about, you mentioned something about the individual, the mentee is driving that journey, right? So I just want to share a metaphor that I like to use. So we have that global program, right? You can enroll as a mentee, and then you drive that relationship with the mentor. So what I like to use as a metaphor there is we think of life as a journey, right? And in the journey in the mentoring club, if you come in and register as a mentee, um, it is like going on a long road trip where you set the destination, you set the goal. That's the first leg of the trip. And then you are driving the vehicle. You allow navigators and guides to ride along with you, and these are your mentors. And as you're driving, you listen to them, listen to them share their experiences. They also will share with you where the gas stations are along the way, the dangerous areas, the best restaurants along the way, and when you get to the destination. But at the end of the day, you are driving the vehicle, and therefore you get to decide whether you want to make a left, straight, or right. And in the process, you also get to know yourself better, right? And so when you get to the destination, for example, you're an individual contributor, you're an engineer, and you want to become a manager, that's your goal. And you were able to achieve that through the guidance, the relationships with the mentors. When you get to become a manager, then you thank your mentors in the mentoring club. You don't have to have them as mentors for life. You can close the relationship, thank them, and then as a manager, practice whatever it is that you have learned. And if you're stuck with something, you can go back and you need mentors, or you can go back to the community and look for mentors, whether it's your previous mentors or new mentors. So that is the global platform that we have available to mentees who are looking for guidance, and they pretty much drive that journey, right? So the metaphor of the road trip. Now, to your point about programs, we also know that uh, when we create groups of people who are supportive of each other and they're going towards these similar goals, there is a stronger support system, right? So you're not alone. You're not the lone driver in that journey, right? So because people are sharing their experiences during the group sessions. And so we've created what we call collective mentoring workshop program. And in this program, we're launching it in July. We still have a few slots open for people to enroll. And what we want to achieve here is to focus on specific areas where the participant feels that they need the most help on, right? For example, we've created 4 groups. The first one is, you mentioned earlier, career catalysts, right? So for career catalysts, this group will be focusing on developing career planning and development skills, job search and interviewing, if you're in that stage. But most importantly, it is really about understanding yourself, your passions, the causes that you believe in, so that eventually you will find the work that will make you feel fulfilled, happy, and eventually that will lead to success. So that's career catalysts. And then the second group is what we call Express Excellence, where we are focusing on communication skills, whether it's oral, written, or visual. So we have a great mentor from Australia, Lisa Galea, who is actually she's her background is in advertising, marketing, strategy, and she was so excited to enroll herself as a mentor for this particular group. Um, And so what we will achieve, what we aim to achieve for the participants of Express Excellence is for them to really understand what is the best way to express themselves so that they can get the results that they need from their teams, from their managers or executives, so that they can push forward whatever projects or goals they have for the work that they're doing. And then the third group is what we call leadership liftoff. And this has a lot to do with the self-awareness part, right? So being able to understand who we are, what matters to us, and that is how we can lead others. And at the same time, how do we communicate, empathize with others? The skill of emotional intelligence, empathy, negotiation, and even strategic thinking. As a leader, we need to look ahead while we're doing the work, day-to-day work. So that's the third group, leadership liftoff. And then the last group is network navigators. So you and I were talking about, moving from one country to another with the help of our connections, people who know us and people we know. And so we understand that for us to be able to navigate our lives successfully, we need the support of people who understand us and whom we relate to. And the Network Navigators group will allow the participants to be able to strategize and understand what are the kinds of networking um, opportunities I should be chasing based on my goals. And what are the kinds of relationships that I should be nurturing so that I could be helpful to others. And eventually, with that relationship, there may be, excuse me, reciprocity along the way. It's not that you're giving because, eventually you will take, but it's really more giving and giving, and then you don't even know that you're already receiving uh, because of those natural relationships that are happening while you're building that network.
And about the network, what I wanted to add, I'm usually when I'm going through the channels, the job search channels, I'm explaining to the people there are 7 job search channels, and the strongest out of 7 job search channels, it's the network. And network, why? Because the job hunters are using a special network matrix. And network matrix, like whom they're connected, what the interest, what is like, so it's actually conscious building of your network. And then also why network? Because 80% of good jobs are usually the people search through the network whom they would like to see. There's some connections on the values, or they know the person. And only 20% of jobs, when they could not find anyone in the network, is going to the open market, or they just or they have like their network is limited. And then I have even clients who are on my coaching, and like we are consciously building network on LinkedIn. Like I'm guiding, like what is the next step, like what to write. I am also learning LinkedIn, but I'm a little bit like few steps ahead. But I'm telling, like this is one of the platforms. Like Instagram is one platform, LinkedIn is another platform. It's 900 million users, so that's actually building the network. And I remember the words of my first mentor. I was in the United Kingdom, and I was on the program. I won the program from the British government. It was called Chancellor Financial Sector Scheme. They selected 2,000 people during the 5 years from former Soviet Union to get a job experience from 6 and longer months. Like I think on average it was 10, 12 months to have a job placement in the real environment in the Western economy. And I was on one of the last intakes of that program. And I was in London, and I was living in Sheffield, like a few months in London, then a few months in Sheffield. It was private company who served the royal family and a lot of other companies, but they were working with all mobile telecommunication companies. But it was very unique experience for me. And my mentor and my boss at that time, Tony Woolhouse, he was telling me, and that was some reception, official reception in London. In the evening, we were returning. It was like business cards, etc. And he told like, okay, now I need to tell you something about network. And he was my first mentor who was telling me the wisdom and sharing wisdom through the stories or from wise stories and some real stories which I remember up to now. That's like amazing. I'm always like chop elephant by part, like, and why it's like this. It was amazing experience. And then that time on the way back from London, he told me that, okay, you have all these business cards and tomorrow you write a gratitude letters. Like what it like mentioning something what you met. The network is not only making contacts, the art is to maintaining these contacts. For me, like it took me some time, maybe few years to realize it, that like this seed planted that time and how it's growing over time. And it's true. And like in relationship or in connection, it's also based on trust, how we build in that. That's why like this network, yes, it's very important. It's like really, it's really important. Like that's why this stream of network, I actually, if possible, if mentors can listen to other mentors, that would be great.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As you said earlier, we also need mentors. As mentors, as coaches, we also need coaches. As mentors, we also need mentors, because we also have specific goals for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so definitely. And then I'm with you on the networking. Follow through is what makes your network work. Uh, so remember when I mentioned that, so I, in my story that I went back to the Philippines from Silicon Valley without any work. So what I did was those people that really showed interest and the connection resonated because of course of the 150 plus people that I've met, not all of them would be interested in what's happening to me, right? And so I selected a number of them, maybe a couple dozens of them, that I eventually was updating on my progress in the Philippines. I said like, hey, I joined Sun Microsystems because now I'm able to get into the internet, right? So I really wanted to invest more learning around the internet. So I kept them updated on what was happening with me in the Philippines. And yeah, eventually the messaging resonated with the owners of J-Way who hired me. It was not like, okay, I left the Silicon Valley and now I have to focus on the Philippines. And then suddenly they just remembered me in 2002 to connect to hire me, right? It doesn't work that way, right? So it's really nurturing that relationship on an ongoing basis. I can't remember how often I talked to them, and I was even engaging with them. I was asking them, so how is Sun doing in Silicon Valley? Because I'm with Sun Microsystems now, right? And are you familiar with this product? I was trying to get some conversation going so that it's really interesting, and it's not like it's a fake attempt, right, to convert to make conversations. It's a real conversation that I'm interested in because I haven't given up on my eventual goal of going to Silicon Valley, and so I'm still interested. And so it's really having that interest, the authenticity and the thought and care that you put into building those relationships. So networking is very important.
Uh, Liesel, it's actually Sun Microsystems. Like I was not working there, but my ex-boss, American, like Chris, he was working in Sun Microsystems in Moscow for a few years, and he was managing director until the moment when Oracle did the mergers and acquisition, and then he was still working as part of Oracle to complete this merger, right? Complete this integration. That's why how I know this, and it's very interesting, like that. I think it was year 2000, one when I was interviewed by Oracle in Russia in Moscow, but for some reason I rejected the offer, and I wrote a good letter to the director because I was impressed by person, but the offer what they offered, it was not exactly what we discussed, and I rejected officially. And then many years later, maybe 5, 6 years later, when it was like my boss was already working there, I'd like to listen, we acquired by Oracle. I go, and I go, isn't this person still there? I go, and he told me, yes. And how do you know him? I was not telling that in the moment I was working in Ganeva and I was interviewed by Oracle. And he actually went to him and go, do you know that person?
Olga.
And he told like, oh, yes, I remember that person is smiling also. And I don't know what happened, but he still remembers you. But it's also connection because I not impacted. I left this impression like this that yeah, it doesn't suit me, but I would just tell him like staying with my dignity and tell him no. But if you will change your conditions, I might reconsider my decision. me at 25 years old, right? But that's why it's like the story Oracle and
Yeah, okay.
some
So he
microsystems.
remembers, he remembers your challenge.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Oh, actually, when you said 2001, that was about the time that I was also interviewing, right? Because I went back home in 2001 and I was interviewing with Microsoft and Oracle and Sun Microsystems. So you were in the other part of the world, and
yes.
I was interviewing with Oracle in the Philippines.
Amazing, amazing. So we have more in connection, like more in common parts. Like it's lovely. So it's actually what I consider what mentoring club does. Like I'm just proudly telling like this is
Oh
the
yeah, me too, me too.
t-shirt. the out of I'm in 3 organizations, and I see how they all different and the approach is different, right? But what I like that you like picking or like I don't know the people are connected. Like what the number of mentors are connected, um, how we communicate between each other. That's already like the mentor is becoming mentee. That you connected me to Nathan from Uganda.
Uganda, yes,
Yes, yes,
yes, yes.
then also like it's actually it's how the people are connected, and it's just opening that no through the people opening the other country and discovering like okay and how my knowledge and experience can help there. It's definitely in this workshop. um it's just like it's like when the flowers and blossom like in the spring, all this like the fragrance or like the transfer, etc. When we have this environment and we have workshop, the people will get not only their experience, they will get experience of the mentors. It's like all other people. It's becoming like will become like community of friends, or it will be some connections will be growing for some other collaborations. It's think about that it's not only workshop for upskilling but it's also growing your networking. And when I was telling to my people, to my ex-subordinates, I go, listen, this is a really good opportunity to sign up for workshop. The price is good. Can you imagine it's 10 meetings? And that's like, you will not find like single like mentor working like, but here it will be combination of mentors, and it will be so much like you will be able to taste other sectors like this networking and communication. And so it's actually two people thought about a week and sign up. They made this
Yes,
decision that they
yes,
told like
yes.
they already actively asking on LinkedIn. I told like okay, only sign up and watch this, building your connection because it's direct access. So I am teaching them how to consciously building that. It's like people are approachable, and only they can be approachable in that environment because we are like family of the mentoring club.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And that's one of our values, right? So,
Yes.
so if people are interested in finding out more about us, please go to our website. It's thementoringclub.org, and then you will see there like leadership core values. So Olga started the session by talking about, we talked and then the values resonated with her. There's a lot of similarities in what we believe in. And so please explore the site, explore the values, because if those values resonate with you, we would like to have you in our community. And then going back to what you said about the workshop, so you're not just learning from the mentors who are there are currently 9 mentors that I recruited to actually help run those sessions in those 4 groups. And you also get to learn from people of diverse backgrounds. So this is the workshop that we wanted to keep as an online community because we're a global platform, right? We started after the pandemic this year. We started thinking, okay, people are ready to go in person, and majority of our community members are in Silicon Valley, right? So and so we had to think about, okay, so what in-person workshops can we do in Silicon Valley? So we're doing that now. We finished with leadership with Kimberly Wiffling. Then we're going to have a workshop in person with Josie Haynes, who's really an advocate of women in tech. And then we're doing a communications workshop with Roy Terry. You know, how do you communicate up, manage up? So those are in-person workshops because we have some critical mass here in Silicon Valley in terms of the community members. But for the global reach, we definitely would like to have that ability to have diverse backgrounds come together in a group setting. And right now we have participants who registered from UAE, United Arab Emirates, from Czechia, and then we have Kenya, and we have the Philippines. We still, as I said, still have a few slots open, and so definitely, we you will learn not just from the mentees, but you would also learn from peers from various cultural backgrounds and even industry sectors, and that will just open up your mind. I've gone through so many exposure with different people, so I know how it feels to say I have no idea what he's talking about, or what this person is talking about, but I absorbed it and then I research it um, after the conversations, and that helped me grow, right? And so I think that is one of the key benefits, in addition to the main one, which is really improving your own self based on your goals, is really having that connections with people of diverse backgrounds, and understanding the world, have a better understanding of the world.
Great, absolutely great. Like it's just like um, I'm happy that I'm mentor, but if I would be mentee and I would be, for example, like 10, 15 years like back, and I will have this opportunity, I definitely will sign up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, support and encouragement as always, Olga. Yes, and that's why we created this community, right? That's why I started the mentoring club, because when I was researching in 2016, I couldn't find a mentoring organization that focused on people in the workforce. And I found a lot of organizations that were serving youth, young people, right, and underserved, underprivileged youth. But I didn't find any that actually catered to people in the workforce who are trying to navigate their careers. Particularly here in Silicon Valley, when we have a lot of immigrants, right? So there are um, young people, first generation college graduates, who are here, and they could not ask their parents about careers because their parents are blue collar workers, right? So again, when I thought of the mentoring club as a community, I wasn't just even thinking of professionals. I was even thinking of somebody who works at a retail store, maybe as a clerk, but wants to become a leader, has the ambition to, find what that particular work is, their passion, and then, change the world. So, for the better. And so I said, I want this organization to be as open as it possibly can be, not just professionals, although those people that probably are looking right now as like we consider them as professionals, but we have a farmer in Kenya, a teacher in Kenya, an entrepreneur in Uganda, entrepreneur in the Philippines, entrepreneur in China, right? So we have so many different backgrounds that eventually were able to serve because we did not just focus on, high tech in Silicon Valley, right? So we want to be able to be as open as possible so that the learning could be more broad and diverse.
Because it's also, it expands our mindset. It's not only like one, like being in the box. It's now like learning is one of the key skills nowadays, right? Like it's like how fast you learn a certain skill. For example, for this year, I selected myself, like for myself, the two skills to develop. It's like AI and
Mm-hmm.
ESG, environmental social governance. Guess what? When I just thought like, okay, from February, I'm discovering like how ChatGPT. Last week, I did my master class of how to work, how ChatGPT or like this ChatGPT will help to the career, like to build a career, how to write, etc., like to help to optimize the process. And the people are getting already results. So like I'm
Mm-hmm.
sharing. And in the ranks by the report of World Economic Forum, that skill plus 10 or plus 12 levels since comparing to the last year. And the second one, which grown also plus 10 levels comparing to the last year, it was sustainability stewardship. And guess what? Because I pointed my intention like to ESG, to the sustainability, what happened, like, because I represented my professional qualification Czech Republic in the European Union, they invited me to be on EU sustainability advisory advocacy group for 5 months. For like discuss the points how the companies integrate this, etc. I just pointed attention that I want to develop that skills a little bit deeper that I know, and the universe through this, like for people start opening up. I go, okay, these are the opportunity. So that's why I'm telling for the mentees, when you will spoke up, when you are going like, okay, how I can develop that skills, how I can be more marketable, how I can be like more demanded on the market, just like pronounce it like I want this, how I can do. And the universe, or like I don't know, like so it's actually
Mm-hmm.
acting through people, through the mentoring club, through us when we are talking now, that like telling like, okay, these are the opportunities. There's one of the tools which you can use to grow your career and maybe starting the next year already in another company on other level of position according
Mm-hmm.
to your better criteria which you see for yourself, and also expanding network. So it's one of the opportunities, I'm just telling you.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, that story that you shared actually reminded me of my story about, opening up to people what I want to do. So, of course, going to Silicon Valley was an example that I shared earlier. But when I decided to um, do the mentoring club. So I also declared it to my friends, right? So this is what I'm going to do for my give back. And then one of my friends said, "Oh, I know the best person for you to meet. His name is Margot Murray, and she has been in the mentoring space for over 35 years. I think close to 40 at the time that I met her. She's now in her 80s and she's still doing it. So I read her book first before I met with her, and then I learned a lot from the book. The definition framework of mentoring from her book is what we're actually using in the mentoring club right now, like the deliberate pairing of somebody who's more experienced, more skilled with a person who's less experienced, less skilled, with a mutually agreed goal of developing the less experienced person in specific competencies, right? To grow in specific competencies. That's our like framework definition of mentoring in the mentoring club. So I met with her, and at that time I can understand, right? That was the first time that she saw me, and I was telling her, this is my vision, this is what I want to see happening. And then she guided me through that process of organizing a facilitated mentoring program. And then eventually last May 25, we presented at an emotional intelligence conference where she is one of the organizers. And then she after that she texted me that when you approached something like when you approached me in 2016, I was skeptical about the ambition that you had for the venturing club, but of course she continued to support me. But now that I'm, that you went through the discussions or sharing, it was a panel discussion of mentors and mentees, how they navigated the relationships. And she said, I am so thrilled to see, how your efforts have been so successful in changing these people's lives. And so like that made me cry because yeah, so it's really just saying your intentions. And you mentioned, the universe, right? So it shows you the way, and people open up doors for you once you know what you want, and you share it with your friends and even strangers, because eventually strangers become your friends too.
Yes, I'm in touch with better part of my mentees. They are reporting to me like, okay, I'm there. Like, it's how we doing? Tell me about your progress. They just see me like, and then the same, like, it's like my ex-subordinates. I'm invited for their weddings. I know what's going on with their families. Like, and it's just like, wow, I think I was a very good boss that they invited me for their weddings. So, and want to stay in touch. For me, it's part of legacy. For me, it's part of, it's like real me that like, okay, that's exactly, it's what the legacy, what we remain in the people life, like how they remember us. And
Mhm.
this is really treasure. This is really treasure.
Mhm.
It was really great to discuss. I think we can stay for hours. We have so
I
many,
know.
and thank you so much,
Well, thank
Liesel, for
you.
coming.
Thank you, Olga. And yes, if you are still on the fence, your viewers, your network, if they're on the fence whether they would like to join us for this program, we mentioned the collective mentoring workshop, which is the online program and the global program that we'd like to extend out there to help more people. Then contact me. If you're still on the fence, contact me, contact Olga. Otherwise, if you're already if thinking that this is the right choice for you, we'd be happy to welcome you to our cohort this year, which is targeted to start in July. So it will run for 10 meetings every other week.
That's great. So that like I think I was not posting about this on my personal Facebook. I need to contact on Facebook the mentoring
Mhm.
club there. I didn't know that you have Facebook. Probably that's like one like of the platform which I have not yet used to tell about. So that's why
Yeah.
I will do that. Like I will record this session. I will save this our live. I will put on YouTube, and then so also share on the Facebook because those people who can listen. And then I have not been like in touch with my community there, and it was Facebook one of the first.
Yeah. Yeah, as the idea is to reach as many people as we can, so that gives us opportunity to help more people through this program. The mentors are really excited and committed to get on the groups, and share their experiences, their wisdom, and their guidance to those people who are needing the help. So we all need help. So um, the Mentoring Club is one resource that people can count on when it comes to leadership development.
and don't be shy to ask for help, because it's not weakness, it's also the sign of strength, like that. Asking for help, it's fine, we all need help.
Absolutely. Yes. We can't navigate the world without other people's support.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much. Thank
Have a
you
great
too,
day.
Olga. You too. Take care.
Take
So
care.
you're gonna have dinner after this.
Yes, yes, but first
Okay.
saving all recordings, posting, and then I will have dinner. Have a great day, Hat.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care. I'm
Take
gonna
care.
have my
Bye.
breakfast. Take care. Bye.
Bye.